Good morning. My name is Sean Dex and welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily analysis video. The sun is out, the sun is bright, the streets are empty, and holy crap, things are getting bad out there, eh? I just tried ordering some vitamin C and apparently they're all out of stock. People are hoarding everything, man. It's pretty funny. Okay. So here we have the Mango Research dashboard, and everything is red. And one green here actually. Is that Link? That's actually XRP. What do you know? I'm actually noticing this for the first time right now. So perhaps we actually check out XRP today as well. But we will be looking at BTC as usual. We'll be looking at Link as usual. But we'll also be checking out traditional markets, because I do want to address something that's pretty interesting that's going on over there. And yeah, so Bitcoin currently sitting at 5,150-ish. Link sitting at around $1.90. And the trend is short. People have been asking me, Sean, why are you taking the short side? Hasn't Bitcoin bottomed? We are trend traders over here at Mango, and the trend is very clearly down. We don't know when Bitcoin will actually bottom, or if it is really the bottom. We play the trend until it's no longer your friend, and for now it is your friend. And we will be discussing some situations where Bitcoin, some hopium situations where perhaps Bitcoin actually does see a bounce, and you could make a compelling argument for it. But for now, in my opinion, guys, especially and I really need to start off with the Mango Research dashboard more often, in fact every video now, because this kind of puts things into perspective, right? The market is bearish, and all you have to do is just look at the dashboard. Everything's red, and it's not that just we're having a down day, right? We're having a day where things are taking a pullback. Things have been in a short trend for a long time now. If you look at Bitcoin, it gave us a signal 21 days ago. If we had actually played it, we would have been filthy rich. Ethereum 19 days ago, BNB a month ago. Link was holding up really well, so it only started giving us a signal 9 days ago. But even look at Link, guys. I think I have the chart over here. Yeah, this Link. Look how fast it freaking just gave up everything. Okay, 9 days or not, like look how fast. Like, this is it, right here. 7 days. 7 days ago you got the signal, 9 days ago you got the signal, and 7 days it literally gave up everything, 60% dump. So I'm really impressed with this over here, and again, major props out to Moru. Good stuff, and we will be adding more and more features. Currently this is not available just yet. It is still in beta. It is only available to a select few people, mostly people who are in the seed program. By the way, the Mango ribbon, guys, is completely free. I am getting a lot of PMs, people asking me about how much the Mango ribbon costs. It's completely free. You should find a link down below in the description that will allow you to get access to the Mango ribbon. So yeah, it's yours to have, man. Yeah, so going back to what I was saying, I really need to start showing this dashboard every morning. I need to start off every video with the dashboard. And if I do forget, guys, please leave a comment down in the comment section below and say, Sean, you idiot, you forgot to start with the dashboard, because I am going to forget. I'm likely going to forget, because I've been doing these videos for more than a year now. More than a year now, and I've gotten into the habit of just starting off with the actual Bitcoin chart, right? So I'm going to forget again. I'm going to try not to forget. I'm going to try to start with the dashboard, because this really puts things into perspective. It shows us that, hey, the market has been down for a while. Stop trying to be bottom pickers, right? And the reason I'm saying this is because to me it comes intuitively. I'm a trend trader. It comes to me intuitively, but it's going to help you guys a lot, and that's what this channel is all about, right? That's why I do these videos every single day, to help you guys. That's why we started, because I started for two reasons. One of the biggest reasons was because I wanted to give to the community what I found was lacking when I was learning. All the frustration that I had to go through while I was learning, I was like, you know what, I did not need to go through any of that. There's a lot of BS out there where people make things sound more complicated than it needs to be. And the reason I think they do it is just to make themselves feel smarter, okay? They just do it to make themselves feel smarter, and things do not need to be as complicated. And that's what Mango has always been about. Even when I was writing about fundamentals pertaining to blockchain, I always broke it down to the simplest concepts. I was using analogies, using villages and farmers to explain complex computer science concepts. And I'm not just some random dude who picked up a blockchain textbook and decided to write about it. No, I actually have a deep background in computer science. I was going to do my PhD in blockchain technology, and that's how I entered this rabbit hole, by the way, because my professor was like, hey, you really need to check out Bitcoin. I'm like, no, there's no way I'm going to be getting into that Ponzi thing. And then she was like, oh, how about Ethereum? Ethereum seems more like your thing, because I was really keen on software development and software product management, etc., etc. So I was like, sure, why not? And then I entered, and yeah, here I am, guys. Here I am, like, what's been 3.5 years later, maybe more. Going back to what we were talking about, though, yeah, Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Chainlink, and traditional markets is what we're going to focus on. We'll also perhaps check out XRP. Bitcoin is currently sitting at 5,150-ish. I do want to start off with the high time frame, so let's go ahead and check out the BLX chart. I do have it open right over here. Yep, this is the weekly, and as you guys can see, it was a big move to the downside, extremely aggressive, and I think very few people were expecting this, especially since the Bitcoin narrative was that if a crisis like this ever happens, Bitcoin was going to be the safe haven. Now, personally, I never believed that. It just did not make sense for that to be the case, right? Over here, we were all excited that, hey, institutions are getting into Bitcoin, backed, and if institutions are actually the ones who are going to push Bitcoin all the way to the upside, do you guys understand that institutions do not consider Bitcoin as a safe haven? That's not why they're buying Bitcoin. They are buying Bitcoin just for the yield. They are just buying Bitcoin for profits. So when they are facing pressure on the other side of the portfolio, when they're facing pressure on traditional markets, do you think they're going to be thinking to themselves, hey, you know what, we are going to hold on to Bitcoin, or no, we're actually going to buy more Bitcoin when our volatility is reaching all-time highs and our risk is going berserk? We are going to buy even more riskier assets. No, they're not going to be thinking that. They're going to be thinking, we got to de-risk. Now, what I did not expect was them to have such a drastic effect on the markets. But hey, it's interesting to note. And we crush some major levels, breaking that 6K level, but we've done that before on the way up, right? Right over here, everybody was expecting Bitcoin to see a massive rejection and then come on over, retest at 4,100. What do? We just keep going up and test these guys over here at around 14,000. This time around, we just crushed on over to the downside and went and tested this ascending triangle all the way from the bear market of 2018 to 2019, right? So now what are we doing over here? Everybody is eyeing this 200 weekly moving average, and as you guys can see, we have come and tested this morning. We actually tested it and we got rejected from it. It would be interesting to see if Bitcoin can actually start closing multiple 4-hour candles above it. That would be very interesting. If we do see that, I would be looking for a move perhaps all the way up to first to at least to around 6,080ish, 6,100, and then after that 6,350 to 6,500. That's what I'd be looking for, but we'll come back to that. I do want to address something that we talked about in yesterday's video. Just for those of you who missed it, everybody's eyeing this weekly 200 moving average and how we close underneath it and saying it's a death sentence, we are going to zero. This is bad. This is bearish. There's no two ways about it. This is bearish. The fact that we held it over here so well and then had our thrust to the upside after holding it once, twice pretty much, and then a couple more times here and boom, right? So we spent some time on that, but over here, as you guys can see, coming all the way back down to 2015, nobody actually zooms in over here. It doesn't seem like it, because if you do actually zoom in, you're going to see that, hey, Bitcoin closed multiple candles underneath this weekly 200 moving average back in 2015 as well. And then we lived underneath for a good 6 weeks, guys, almost 2 months actually. Yep, 49 days, 2 months almost, before closing above it, 2 candles above it, 2 weekly candles above it, and then having another major move towards the upside. And the psychology between these guys over here, this M-like formation, is very similar, okay? Not in terms of fractals. You guys know I don't buy into that, or maybe I just don't know how to play it, and that's fine. You don't need to know every technical analysis tool in the world to be good at TA. Look at what we use. We use such simple concepts, and it's been very, very effective. Okay, so what were we saying? The psychology is very similar, right? And what I'm looking at is this M-like formation over here, where we put in a high over here, came down, and we put in these lows that were very, very, very pivotal, and then we put in a high over here, okay? On a candle closing basis, we actually put in these highs, closing at around 10,300-ish, and then drove down, okay? What did we do when we drove down? We drove down and closed underneath the weekly 200 moving average. Let's go back on over here. Same story, right? We put in these highs over here, came down, okay, put in a major neckline that was very important, and then put in a high over here on a candle closing basis again, okay, at around $296 to $300, and then we drove down, and we drove down underneath the weekly 200 moving average. So my point here is not that we should be going bullish and buying this, the current price at around 5,116 or whatever it is. I'm not saying that we should be buying it based on this. What I'm trying to say is be very, very careful saying that, hey, just because we close underneath the weekly 200 moving average, we are going to go to zero, and then you get into a massive over leveraged short trade, and what do you know, Bitcoin actually just ends up spending some time going sideways and then pumps up to the upside, and you get liquidated, also costing yourself a lot of opportunity cost. That's a big thing, guys. Think about opportunity cost too when you're getting into trades that may actually do nothing, which is why recently I've been taking long trades only for a short time frame. What I mean by that is that if I'm going long, it's going to be a quick trade. The only trades that I'm going to be holding on to overnight or for a few days at a time are going to be short trades, because you play the trend and you only hold on to longer term trades for trending positions, okay? Bitcoin is not trending towards the upside right now, it's trending towards the downside. So think about opportunity cost while getting into those long-term positions. All right, so now we can look at the daily time frame, and as you guys can see, Bitcoin right over here is in a consolidation formation. Let me go ahead and turn off the mango ribbon, and it does look like Bitcoin is simply going sideways, right? But what is really important to note is that we are putting in lower highs, and that's not a good look at all, especially when the trend is towards the downside. This is how you get your bear flag, guys. You know, everybody talks about the bear flag. Well, it's essentially a impulsive move towards the downside, and then putting in a formation with lower highs. Now people might be looking at these higher lows as well, but again, I'm going to be leaning towards the side of the trend, and this may very, very well indicate further extension towards the downside. And easy targets would be essentially these lows over here. First target would be 4,400, 4,500-ish, and then the second target would be perhaps all the way down to 3,900, right? And these may seem like trivial targets, but they are actually pretty significant. First target's around 13%, the second target's all 24%. These moves are very, very, very lucrative if you do catch them, and I will be positioning myself depending on what the charts tell me in the near time frames. We will be talking about that very, very soon. And should we talk about it right now? Okay, no, I do want to talk about one last little thing. We do have a little bit okay, this may sound a little scary, and I don't want to scare you guys off. We do have a few things that need to play out first before we can see a measured move on this, but there is a very ugly measured move to have on this. We do have a bear flag pole over here, right? And the measured move is pointing down to a target that I did have during the previous bear market. Now, I wasn't playing for this target, but I was ready in case we do see the triggers. And back then the trigger was if we broke the weekly 200 moving average. Over here it would be, we'll talk about that in a bit, but the target is shooting all the way down to 1,820. So we can adjust the screen line slightly, and let's zoom out and see where exactly this comes down to. Okay, 1,820, auto, zoom out and zoom out, and what do you know, it's the exact wick. Holy crap, it's the exact wick of this area over here. And I do believe this was when Bitcoin did have the entire conspiracy with the Bitcoin cash fork, blah blah blah, where we went all the way up to 3,000 and then dumped down to 1,800, exactly 1,820, and then pumped on over to the upside, right? Just kept going. So does Bitcoin actually get all the way down there? That'd be really, really ugly. But what I do want to, the reason I want to talk about that, guys, is to be ready for anything. Be ready for anything. Do not try to time the bottom. This is how people get extremely, extremely hurt, especially if you're playing with leverage, So what needs to happen for that to actually play out? Well, first we need to close a daily candle underneath 4,900-ish. Well, actually around 4,800. If you close a daily candle underneath 4,800, I'll be looking for a move all the way down to around 4,000, 3,900. After that, if we break that, I'll be looking for our previous lows, which is around 3,100-ish, right? Somewhere around here, somewhere around here. After that, if we break this, that's the next target, guys. We may have a start to stop at around 2,400-ish, but I'll be looking all the way down to 1,820. So it's a while before we come down there, but just keep that in mind. I know it's a little scary, but I do want you guys to protect yourselves right now. My job right now is, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do need to be responsible and tell you guys, do not get stupid. Do not get stupid, okay? We are living in conditions that we have never ever seen before, and this is not the time to be trying to get cute and try and timing bottoms, especially if you're trying to put on extremely high leverage plays, okay? Just be very, very careful. That's all I can say. Now, Bitcoin may very well have already bottomed out over here. I hope that Bitcoin has bottomed out over here. Everyone is just happier when Bitcoin is mooning. Everyone is happier, especially when Link is mooning, right? Everyone's super, super happy. But let me tell you guys this. This is the time you guys focus and perfect your craft. This is the time that you put in the effort to learn and get better. Because if you try to learn while things are already moving and moving fast, you will be missing out on an opportunity, because markets move really, really fast when they start moving hard, especially crypto, right? During the 3K zone, guys, the guys who actually stuck with us and learned with us and put in the time, they are the ones who benefited during this entire run. The guys who all entered over here, they pretty much saw a little bit of the move. They got very, very excited, and there's so many guys from the Mango community too who just disappeared after we broke 9,000. I'm pretty sure they got really, really hurt, and it really sucks to if that's true, that really sucks. I hope that's not true. I hope they just got busy with life. But they joined the community somewhere around here, guys, when we were already reaching 9,000, 10,000 levels, and then they rode it with us to the top, and then they were gone. Okay, they were gone, and this is so typical of the retail trader, right? They're in for the top, and at the bottom where they're supposed to be learning. I'm not saying try to time the bottom, but this is where the markets are at its most technical, you would want to say, because pretty much it's only the professional traders now trading, right? It's traders versus traders. So this is where you want to learn, because all the retailers have probably either got washed out or just holding, okay? Either washed out or holding, very similar to what was going on over here. Washed out or holding, okay? Traders who retail traders who thought they were traders got washed out, and there were other retail traders who were pure hodlers. And great, Bitcoin has probably the best freaking hodling community in the world. It's pretty impressive, and yeah, this is where you want to learn, because then you can enjoy the top. So focus right now, put in the time investment, and you will be better for it in the future, because these are very, very special times. Now, enough of that rant. Let's look at the lower time frames now, and we will start off with the 12-hour. Again, none of these time frames have a pretty picture. I will be showing you guys some hopium, and over here this is an example of a hopium upside target of a possible bull target. There is some backing towards this, though. We do have a potential falling wedge over here that can be better seen on the 4-hour time frame, but I will not be completely convinced of actually seeing follow through all the way up to this zone over here, which is what I'd be looking for Bitcoin to actually eventually bounce to around 6,500 until we take out these wicks over here around 5,600-ish. Okay, now we do have a measured move for this wedge that does line up with first let's go ahead and put up the measured move, I think somewhere around here, and around 6,045. And if you turn on your 21 EMA on the Mango ribbon, it does line up with the Tenkin and the 21 EMA coming in right over there. If you do adjust it correctly, like I misplaced it right over there, right around 6,052 is where the target is, and the 21 EMA is at 6,093, so 6,100, and that lines up with this high over here at 6,200-ish. So if Bitcoin can actually see this follow through, then I think we're going to have cascading effects eventually all the way up to the green target. But it does need to first break this wick over here at around 5,600-ish. Okay, earlier this morning we did make an attempt and we got rejected off it. It did line up with a rejection of the weekly 200 moving average too. So there's a lot of resistance here, guys. If Bitcoin does see that push towards the upside, I do think we're going to end up seeing a short squeeze as well. At least a lot of traders getting out of their short positions, because we probably have a lot of short stops over here, short stops over here, and people have been probably adding to their short positions here, right? I would be doing that. In fact, I did take a few short trades. I'm not in any trade right now. I rode this all the way down to around 4,500-ish, and then while this started bouncing on me, my profits started getting eaten into. I did try for a quick, so somewhere around here, again going a little bit off topic, somewhere around 4,831, I added to my position. Okay, and we did did start seeing some sell pressure, but again that got bought back up almost immediately, and that confirmed what I was looking for, which was eventual play through of this bullish divergence on the 12-hour time frame. And what do you know, that does line up with a eventual target of this 21 EMA on the 12-hour time frame as well. So essentially I was looking at this bullish divergence eventually confirming this low over here, and we did do that, right? We, with that move that went against me and ate into my profits, I got out of my trade. I unfortunately did not get as much profits as I wanted to. So I was looking at two targets. I was looking at around 4,500-ish, and then my next target was 4,200. So I held on to the trade. I took some profits over here, held on to the trade, and then started seeing the bounce immediately. But I was keeping an eye out for this bullish divergence. This is what I mean by being a little bit more holistic with your trading, guys. Do not get too tunnel vision. Look at the big picture, especially when we may be doing something like this. The trade can bounce very, very fast against you, and you may want to like pull out of the trade and then reassess. So now after this wick over here, I was really interested on getting into a position, but I missed that as well. So I'd be looking for another lower high, perhaps somewhere around 5,400, and try for a trade over there. I will essentially be getting out of my short position if we either wick above 5,560. And now you're seeing, right, how it all plays out. Me, as a trader who will be looking for short position around here 5,400, okay, I'll be looking to get out of the trade if we start trading above 5,577. So what do I need to do to get out of the trade? I need to buy back into the market, right? So I'm applying buy pressure, okay? I'm buying Bitcoin, I'm selling Bitcoin somewhere around 5,400, then I'm buying back higher. So I'm applying buy pressure into the market, and that's what other short traders will be doing too, who will be wanting to get out of their trade. Especially if they've been adding over here, they'll be looking to take profits as soon as we wick above this. That's how you see all that buy pressure come, and that's how you suddenly see a sudden surge towards the upside. Everybody wonders, right? Who's buying? How come? What's the news? Why are we seeing a sudden pump? Usually it's only because, hey, shorts are getting pressured out of their position. All right, so we may see something like that, but again, until the trend changes, keep playing the trend towards the downside. All right, so I do want to talk about the 4-hour time frame now before we move on. And the reason I want to talk about the 4-hour time frame is because I think the 4-hour has been getting it extremely well. It's the most clear chart in my opinion. All you have to do to play the downside over here is target the highs, right? You had one trade right over here if you're targeting these highs over here, and this is where the Vine nailed it perfectly as well. I was actually hunting for this, keeping an eye on the Vine, and it happened while I was asleep. Andrew did catch this move. Major props to him, and this actually gave you a good 25% move towards the downside. Was it 25%? Yep, 26% actually. And I had two targets for this. Move. I caught partially. So I had a target around 4,500, and I had a target around 4,200-ish. And if you guys zoom out and look at the daily time frame, you guys will see where I'm getting these lines from, and it played out almost perfectly. I didn't catch the entire move. I actually took my trade when I woke up in the morning at around 5,272, essentially the 4-hour closing underneath the 10 SMA, and I even took some profits a little bit earlier of these candle closes right over here at 4,854. So I didn't get the best juice out of the trade. I like leaving the faster the trade moves in my favor, you guys know how I play it, right? The more willing I am to let the profits pull back on me. So if I had a move like this where it moves so fast in my favor, and this is what Andrew caught, I would have been willing to not take profits at this level and wait for this to break, which was exactly what happened, and then take my first level of profits at 4,546. And then my second level of profits at 4,252. Unfortunately, we didn't get down to 4,252. Got this bounce over here, put in that low on the 12-hour time frame, confirmed that bullish divergence. And now the question is, do we actually see the follow through of the bullish divergence, which would line up with what, guys? These highs right over here. Going back to what I was saying about the 4-hour time frame, guys, the other short trade that we had that played out again this morning, they're all happening around the same time, is these highs over here. Okay, again, double topping between this high and this high over here, getting that rejection, lining up with the 200 weekly moving average, and now you're seeing the follow through to the downside. Do we come back all the way down over here at 4,500? We can turn on the Mago ribbon to see if we Actually, yes, we actually may. As you guys can see, we are closing multiple candles underneath. Closed 2 candles now underneath the 10 in the 21 EMA as well as the 10 SMA. You're also seeing the 21 and the 10 SMA kiss here, and that is a bearish sign. If we see a rejection of these over here, and the 21 EMA, the 10 SMA essentially starts drifting away from the 21 EMA, I'll be looking for this to actually start floating on over to the downside. First targets would be around 4,846. Next target back on over to 4,500, guys. And these look like small moves, but like I said, these are not small moves at all. It's a good 12% move to the second target, and I do think we may come down there. We would be looking for Bitcoin to actually start closing candles above this entire zone over here, above 21 EMA, above the 10 SMA, above the 10 kin, and then if we can start doing that, I'd be looking for move towards the Kijun. But hey, one thing at a time. Right now, this is not looking good on the 4-hour at all, and the 4-hour has been getting it well. People might be looking at this as a inverted head and shoulders. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a question on that. I don't. This is what. No, guys, don't even look at that. Don't even look at that. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and look at no. Before we look at Link, I do want to talk about traditional markets. I do want to talk about SPY, because SPY did something very interesting yesterday and has been doing something interesting for the past few days. What I've been noticing is happening is that Bitcoin makes a move. Let's say Bitcoin is bullish, so SPY is opening in an hour or so. And let's see if this actually happens again. So if Bitcoin actually does start trudging on over to the upside, you will see SPY actually follow up in like around 10 minutes or 15 minutes towards the upside as well. And it's been happening for a few days now. Towards the end of the day, SPY may get sold into and Bitcoin may actually keep going up, or the other way around. But in the beginning of the day, just before the opening of the markets, you are seeing some sort of correlation over there. But that's not what is the only interesting part. The more interesting thing of what has happened was yesterday's close. So SPY had a pretty bearish day the previous day. Okay, right over here on 16 March, you can see how we closed. But when we opened the next day, we actually took out the low of the previous day. We took out the low and we did not see bearish follow through. Okay, the bears should have been very, very excited about taking out the low of the previous day and seeing that follow through. What we got instead was us pretty much double bottoming over here. If you go on over to the lower time frames, perhaps the 1 hour, you'll see us double bottoming over here and moving on over to the upside. So what I'll be looking for to see if SPY can actually take off this wick over here, if the S&P can actually take out this high over here of this day at around 256.71, then I'll be looking for continuation, perhaps to 272, and that will line up, guys, in my opinion, with Bitcoin also seeing the continuation. So a lot of Bitcoin's bullishness right now, unfortunately to say, guys, is reliant on traditional markets, in my opinion, even though, and this is the confusing part, even though we are seeing Bitcoin lead the way, which is freaking confusing. And another thing that is confusing, actually it's more so concerning than it is confusing, is how the other currencies are behaving in relation to USD. Now, if you guys have been paying attention in the Mango Grove, by the way, join the Mango Grove community. It's completely free. Link is down below. The Telegram community. Oh, by the way, shout out to Shawnee on from the YouTube comments and on Discord. Apparently, you have been trying to PM me on Discord. I'm not using Discord anymore, man. We are using Telegram. We've kind of thrown away that Discord idea because people find it really difficult to use, believe it or not. I don't like Discord either as much. It was a good idea, but I should probably get in there and tell people that we are just using Telegram. Yeah, we are using Telegram, man. So just go ahead and PM me on Telegram. I'd love to chat with you. And yeah, man, your message was really, your comment was really heartfelt. Thank you for that. Oh yeah, so going back to what I was saying, USD, the USD currency. I've been bullish on the USD currency ever since like around October-ish. And let's go ahead and look at an example of currency pairing that I've been eyeing for a long time, and it is the USD CAD, right? Look at this. And if you go and look at a lot of currencies against the USD, guys, the USD is freaking pumping. Okay, the USD is pumping, and this is what is concerning though. I expected this for a while now, these breakouts to happen. I have no CAD at all. Even though I should have very little CAD. I was expecting this, but what I did not expect was after the Fed announced their zero interest rate, 0 to 0.25, whatever. After announcing that, along with a $700 billion quantitative easing program, I would have expected this to have a pullback. The fact that we are seeing continuation makes me wonder how indebted are these. Okay, we're not going to get into that right now. This video is going to end up being like around 4 hours, but this is actually freaking very concerning. So let's see how all of this pans out. What I'm really interested to see is, do traditional markets actually start responding to the moves that the Fed has made? Okay, and the Fed has made some really strong moves recently. If you guys have been following the news, the Fed has made some really strong, bold moves, and now let's see if we do see follow through from the markets. Okay, let's see if we do see follow through from the markets. Going back to what we were talking about now, let's go ahead and check out Link USD. We have Link USD right over here on the 12-hour time frame. Let's look at the daily time frame, and Link is doing pretty much what we discussed, right? All you guys had to do was copy down these horizontals, and we are literally playing between them. As soon as we lose one horizontal, we make our way down to the next one. If we lose the next one as well, we drive all the way down to the next one underneath it, right? And now we are testing the top of this range over here, $1.95. So you can essentially say that we are playing between $1.95 to the top side, $1.55 towards the downside, and the middle of the range is right over here, $1.75. Okay, so if we lose $1.75, we are likely going to come and test $1.56 again. We do not want to lose $1.56, guys, because it's pretty much free fall after that. I don't think it's anything. I think there's nothing. Is there anything? Like, there's no price history over here. Let's go and look at Link USDT on Binance. Binance probably has more price history. Imagine if it just goes down to zero after that. This is nothing. I shouldn't laugh at that. I know a lot of people are probably still holding their Link. So if TradingView decides to load, Jesus. Okay, so let's do some TA while TradingView decides to load right over here. At this major level, this blue zone that we've been looking at, that's our weekly zone, right? We're looking for a Link to close above that. Unfortunately, Link did not. And holy, it actually went down to zero. Oh my God, guys. Holy crap. What the heck? Oh yeah, this was the thing everybody was talking about. Holy crap, TA actually works. There was nothing underneath, right? And it went to zero. Holy crap. Okay, there was something. It should have stopped here, and it should have stopped here, but it didn't. Binance is playing off the Coinbase chart. It went to zero. Oh my God, I cannot believe this. This is bad, man. This is so bad. Did this actually happen? People are telling me Link went down all the way to 1 cent. Did anybody catch this? Did anybody catch this? So these are your next major levels. After losing, yeah, we already tested $1.42 on Binance. At least we tested this. So after losing this zone over here, guys, $1.40, we are going all the way down to 86 cents. Not going to be good. After that, we're going to go all the way down to 43 cents. Not going to be good. Link holders want Bitcoin to hold up, because if Bitcoin gives up, Link is going to give up a major level, and it's going to be free fall, guys. It's going to be free fall right after $1.35. I hope I'm wrong. Hey, TA is not 100% correct, right? It is only probability. Everything over here is just probability. Do not take anything we say as gospel, okay? Don't listen to any trader who says, we're definitely going to do this, man. Nobody knows for sure what's going to happen, man. If we knew for sure what was going to happen, we would be betting a house on it. We'd be betting multiple house on it. We would be trading 100x leverage on every single move. So nobody knows anything. Nobody knows anything. Okay. So going back to yeah, Link USD on this is I'm shocked. I'm freaking shocked. Switch on back on over to Coinbase. I don't want to see that wick. I don't want to see that wick. Let's look at the 4-hour time frame. Let's look at the lower time frames. Maybe we have something going on over here. And what do we have going on over here? Pretty much same story. We tested these horizontals. The 4 is actually pretty neat. Yeah. There's not much, guys. This is, if we lose this wick over here, we're likely going to come down to $1.57 again. If we lose $1.57, we're probably testing that $1.35, $1.39 range. We don't want to do that. This is what we want Link to do. We want Link to set in a higher low somewhere around here on the middle of this range over here, and then perhaps take out this high over here at $2.11. If we can have Link do that, okay? If we can have Link take out this area over here, either start closing candles above $2.05. Okay, so we can be a little bit more lenient with Link. Let's do that. Okay, if Link can close candles above $2.05 or wick above $2.11 and base into the zone over here. Okay, so what we don't want to see, and I'm getting a little bit too technical over here, but I think it is warranted. What we don't want to see is a wick over here above these levels over here, and then us close a candle underneath. That's not going to be good. If we are looking for just a wick, let me put that back down. apologies. If you're looking for just a wick above these guys over here, we want to see the candle close within $1.95. Okay, that will give us confidence. That will give us the bulls confidence to see the follow through of this trend change, perhaps a trend change, right? Because what are we looking for? We're looking for these highs to be taken out while putting a high low over here. So essentially, we're going to have a higher high, higher low. Then we can put in probably base off this again, and then try for this blue zone over here. And what is this blue zone? Our major weekly level. Likely going to see a rejection over there, but if this does line up with this happening around the Saturday Sunday mark, then put in a high low and close the week above that, that's going to be the first bull sign. Okay, that's going to be the first good sign for Link in a very, very, very long time. But your exit, guys, was when Krisha talked about that head and shoulders that we broke on to the downside. She looked at $2.10 as the first target. We actually got there. We bounce, started getting rejected off this blue territory over here, and then continuation on over to the downside. It's been very ugly, guys. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. But hey, I do believe Link will eventually pull through, but you guys have to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. If you guys are trading on leverage, or if this is money that you're relying on to feed your family or pay your rent, this is these aren't the kind of markets where you want to be holding that kind of money in, right? If you're trading such a freaking risky market, you don't want to be relying on that money as an investment to be able to pay your rent. Okay, if you guys are holding Link, you guys need to be ready for some stomach sickening moves in cryptocurrency, man. It's one of the reasons why I only hold Bitcoin. I will trade other coins, but I won't hold them. Why? Because while you may see these kind of mega moves on Link, you could also see mega moves towards the downside. Okay, this is volatility works both ways. With Bitcoin, yes, you have the volatility, but when the market does start recovering, Bitcoin more often than not does tend to recover the first, and at the very least, if it does not recover first, it is the one that took the least hit. Okay, it's not always the case, and I'm generalizing a bit too much over here, but you're a little bit more protective. Okay, Bitcoin is the top dog, and it does have the most liquidity, so it is less likely to see something. Then again, Bitcoin pretty much did the same thing, right? Bitcoin pretty much did the same thing. What did Bitcoin do from the high? Let's go ahead and see. So yeah, pretty much the same. Bitcoin pretty much did the same thing. Bitcoin did the same thing, man. So yeah, no, don't worry about it. Don't forget anything I said. But Link went to zero on Binance, and I'm not sure if that's just a chart showing a bug or if people actually got liquidated on that move, man, because you guys should probably talk to the Binance customer representative or something to see what the hell happened there. That was bad. All right, so let's do a quick recap on what we're looking at over here at Bitcoin. If we close a daily candle or even a 12-hour candle underneath around 5,000, I'll be looking for further move towards the downside. First target around 4,500-ish. Next target around 4,200 to around 4,000-ish. That area is where I'm likely going to be looking for either a bounce or a bottom kind of formation. Depends. We'll take it one step at a time. But if we don't hold that level, then I'll be looking towards the 3,000 levels. Yes. I know that does sound very, very scary, but it is the situation right now. It's not looking good. Again, like I said, let's keep an eye also on traditional markets. I am leaning more towards the downside than towards the upside. Why? Because the trend on every time frame is towards the downside. Every single time frame, not even the 1 hour. I don't even think the 1 hour is trending towards the upside. So for the first goal the bulls need is the 1 hour trend change. Then they need a 4 hour trend change, and then I'll be looking for 12 hour. And then at the 12-hour trend change, I'll likely be looking for a massive rejection on a major weekly level. It's likely going to line up around 6,500. So towards the upside, that's the targets I'll be looking at majorly, 6,300 to 6,500. If the bulls can actually keep the trend going, we're looking at around 6,800 to 7,200. 7,200 is a major monthly level as well. Over there, I will be expecting a rejection. But again, if the bulls keep it going and actually hold that till the month close, we'll be closing the monthly extremely bullish. We'll be closing the monthly with a major wick towards the downside and closing the monthly above the monthly 21 EMA. Okay, so think about how this candle is going to look. It's going to look like a major wick towards the downside and a defense of the 21 EMA. That's likely going to be interpreted by the market as a very good sign. Okay, it's about the psychology of what's going to happen. So that is the least likely situation, but it isn't impossible. Okay, remember guys, nobody thought that this was possible, us driving all the way down to 4,000. So always expect the unexpected. by that logic, you also have to expect a move all the way down to 1900 possibly, right? 1820, we did a measured move for the bear flag. That is, the freaking daily is a picture perfect image of a bear flag right now, with a pole and everything. So be very, very careful, guys. Be very careful. My name is Sean Dexter. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Throw it a like, throw it a subscribe, leave a comment down below if you guys want me to target any specific coin. We were supposed to look at XRP because the dashboard, right? The Mango dashboard, was it XRP BTC? Yup, it said long. Let's go ahead and look at it quickly. XRP BTC Binance on the daily. Let's go ahead on the daily and hide all that. This is actually pretty interesting. Turn on the horizontals, hide the Mango. This is that major level that we actually took a trade off. Do you guys remember this major trade that we took? Oh, this was a really good. Oh, I remember this trade. This actually did so good for my BitMEX account. This was a good move. This was a good move. A good 20% move in literally 2 days. So it's bouncing off it right now. We retook that level. It's just so hard to be bullish of anything right now because of the way the markets have been behaving. But against Bitcoin, XRP is looking pretty decent. Turn on the Mango ribbon, see what's going on over here. Holding the 21, holding the Tenkin, holding the 10 SMA, seeing reject. This chart's pretty much. It's actually pretty, really volatile, but it's holding major levels. That's what's it's playing off these levels really well, guys, really well. So would I be looking for a trade off this? No, absolutely not. I'm not looking to take on any risk on altcoins right now. I'm only trading Bitcoin, and I will be looking to trade some Forex pairings too. If you guys are interested in me talking about Forex, leave a comment down below. My name is Sean Dexter. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ciao.